All right, thanks for staying with us. Now, according to the Vanguard, many publications ago, Mr. Steve Ayorinde, the former Lagos State Commissioner for Tourism, Arts and Culture, described tourism sector as the next big revenue generating sector in Nigeria. The former commissioner said business volume in the larger tourism and cultural arts sector arguably equals and was threatening to surpass that of oil exports, agriculture, or automobile. He made this assertion at one of the events that happened, with the theme Lagos as a model of tourism in Nigeria. Now, tourism has become one of the major players in the international commerce and represents one of the main sources of income for many developing countries. Now, according to the United Nations World Tourism Organization, over the decades, tourism worldwide has experienced continuous growth and deepens diversification to become one of the fastest growing economic sector in the world. Now, bringing this back home, today we're asking, how can we begin to drive revenue through tourism? Now, that's the question. Please, let's hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-84663. You can also tweet at us at Wayshow Africa1 with the hashtag Wayshow. So, Lydie and Uti, I will bring in Abiola in a minute. I just wanted to hear your quick thoughts, because when Lydie mentioned the Njokos having their destination remarriage after 10 years wedding renewal in the Maldives, because I saw the card, it was in the Maldives, I saw the picture. And they asked Nancy, you say they fear God.
I could feel.
Have you not noticed that this particular couple, they live for Nigeria anymore? They actually live in Ghana.
Oh, I didn't know that.
They left Nigeria for Ghana.
That's not.
But let me hear Uti's thoughts.
But assuming they hadn't left, let's take it from that.
Let's be. I agree with you to an extent.
Okay.
In that the opportunities and the plethora of things that fall into the category of tourism in Nigeria are immense. We don't even know. We Lagosians, we think Lagos is Nigeria. There is so much to see, from the natural to the man-made. There is a lot to see. However, this brings me, this is almost like full circle. My very second show on Waze was about tourism 2 years ago. And 2 years plus now, actually.
2 years plus.
We're 2 plus.
We're almost 3 years now.
We're toddlers now.
Yes, sir.
So the fact is, I love driving. I love road trips. But it never crosses my mind in Nigeria for, will I say one reason or two reasons only? One is security. The other is the state of the roads. So everywhere else in the world, because of the economical issues, recessions, and all of that post-COVID, staycations are trending. But here in Nigeria, we're still struggling. So yes, in Lagos here, we have the beachfront. We have, almost 200 kilometers of coastline here in Lagos. So we have the beaches of different categories, and whichever one your money carries. From the private to the, there's a beach for everybody.
Yes.
The more secluded, if you got the money for the boats, you got it. People are renting. I remember we're having a conversation about beach houses in Elashe, 3.5 million for a day. Remember the day we put it up?
Constructed with concrete.
Yes, we put it up on WhatsApp status, and people were like, sorry, is the house cast in gold? But that just gives a sense of the amount of potential revenue that sits in that industry that can be generated. And you know that Nigerians like to chop life.
Yes.
So if we just could get it right in those things, I mean,
absolutely,
it could
even
just boom.
Within Nigeria, with the population we have, we may not even need outsiders to patronize us if we knew that we could depend on safety. I was looking, I went visiting one of my sisters-in-law, even though I've loved the husband, the other day. Looking through the calendar, I started seeing different sites, the calendar that they had made for the year. I started seeing, this was last year, different sites in Nigeria that I didn't know about. And I saw Owu Waterfalls, which is based in Kwara State, or maybe Kogi State, between the two. And they said it's the third highest waterfall, I think, in Africa. I made it a point to go there. It was scary, but I made it a point to go there. I walked the way the people would say they would hike and everything. I went to the very source of where the water touches the lake, took pictures, and I was like, I'm really proud of myself. It was scary, because we saw herdsmen crossing rivers and everything. And at the time that I did it, the idea was, I was thinking of starting a show a TV show of places where you can visit, you know, sights and sounds of Nigeria. So I thought, okay, let me see what Owu Waterfalls is like and how easy it is to access. Where, for instance, South Africa has sky cars carrying people to Table Mountain and all. We don't even have it in Nigeria. We not, even the train itself is becoming a problem. People are running out of fuel. They're hijacking them. So there's so many things we could be doing. Like, I mean, we have them. Down Lekki, we have Green Acres or something like that. Yeah. But security and roads not being safe are the things that actually stop us from doing it, because we haven't seen enough in Nigeria as Nigerians.
Absolutely.
Not to talk of wanting to go abroad.
Just take a look at that picture.
Can you imagine?
All right, so let me bring in Abiola Adelana. She's a tourism business manager. She's responsible for revitalizing the tourism business, especially within Nigeria, and setting up a sustainable model to utilize finance in developing domestic tourism. She's a seasoned banker with over 14 years experience in risk management, strategy and retail banking. Abiola is a member of the Domestic Tourism and Economic Development Working Committee for Nigeria as coordinated by Nigerian Tourism Development Commission. She is a trained economist from the Obafemi Awolowo University. She completed the Executive Education Program on Sustainability Business at Harvard Business School, CIBM member, and is she's very passionate about contributing her skills and training to putting down a solid structure for the local tourism in Nigeria to become a major GDP driver for the country. Did you not see that? We searched and we looked for the right person to have this conversation with. Thank you so much, Abiola. Thank you so much for coming to the show today. You look like tourism yourself.
Absolutely.
I can see the representation. Yeah. And I mean, first of all, I must commend whoever decided to start using Adire, you know, to bring it to the fore.
With all the colors that they have. I'm telling you,
this particular Adire style is gone all over the world, you know.
All over the world.
And that is just a very tiny, what's it called? Tiny
snippet of something.
Snippet. Thank you. That's the word I'm looking for. To tell you how much we have that we're not even tapping into. Yeah. First of all, is it possible to drive revenue through tourism in Nigeria? Is that possible?
Absolutely possible.
So what's stopping us?
So what's stopping us? So let's start from what is tourism. Tourism is the movement of people from one place to another. And when people move from one place to another, money moves with people, opportunities move with them, and growth.
Jobs, yeah.
Growth, yes. So there's a lot of opportunities that lies between this space, from the airline to the transportation to the hospitality to the e-commerce, you know. And there are so many segments of tourism. We have the religious tourism, we have
which we are very good at in this country.
Educational tourism, we have the cultural tourism. So before now, Nigeria, we are good at looking at what is not working for us, and we like to project the negative, you know. But I think it's about time we begin to change the narratives and begin to say and see the good things that works for us. We know that there's a lot of limitations when we're talking tourism. Government needs to play their role in terms of security. But even with all of this insecurity and all of the challenges we have, there's a lot of opportunities in this sector. For example, there's Osun Osogbo going on right now. There's this festival called Osun Osogbo. And a lot of people, Brazilians are in town right now. Osogbo, as at 5 p.m. today, I've received calls of people looking for hotels to stay, meaning that Osun State is going to, tourism, this religious tourism is going to grow Osun State's GDP through hospitality. People, supermarket is going to sell. The whole value chain, there's going to be a positive impact in the whole value chain. Then looking at the creative sector in tourism, when people visit Nigeria, for example, there's this naked art gallery. I see Brazilians, I see foreigners visit, and they're so excited buying stuff like this. Aside from the artwork, just buy Adire. Adire now is something the whole world has embraced.
The funny thing that you said, that just let me interject very quickly. This particular outfit you have on, the very famous actress and producer and director Tasha Smith came to Nigeria recently when they had a show. And when she wore this while she was
The
here.
yellow one.
Yeah.
Yes, with her twin sister.
Her sister.
She wore this when she was here, and she wore another variation of it when she went abroad. So these are opportunities, beads that are, you know, peculiar
Animals,
to our
absolutely. So
waters.
few months ago, I was in New York, and I wore. Everybody that knows me knows I wear Adire 247. You know, because I try to project what I'm, you know, preaching.
preaching.
And I got to this Hilton hotel in Staten Island, and the manager was like, "Oh my God, I love what you're wearing," and immediately. There's a white lady that was like, okay, please, can you tell me where you got this from? And I called Mama Nika in Nigeria, like, oh, do you know right now? No, this is not from her. Okay. She doesn't sell the end products. Okay. But what I'm saying is that even the international world, they are beginning to embrace what we don't cherish.
Yes.
And I think education is very important. People are not aware. People are left impoverished because they are not informed. I had a meeting some time ago with the Oyo State people that does the saying, the Ashoke people. And all of what they're telling me that their children cannot inherit what they're doing because they are poor. Meanwhile, people that sells all of these things on Instagram are very rich.
But I want to say
they're
something
taking
there.
advantage of them.
Let me interject you there and say that, so why is that narrative still going? Because you see right now, you see a lot of craft at these people, the weavers of the Adire and all of those, the dyers of Adire and the weavers of the Ashoke. Their children don't want to inherit that business. Why?
Poor.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Because, so how do we begin to switch that? Because again, people take advantage of these people that, I know a lady that does shea butter, for instance. She's in Ghana. So she has done the shea butter story in such a way that she tells you that for every shea butter you order, there's a woman in a village somewhere that is able to take her children to school and everything. So they are in love with the product, and they would continue to get, you know, people that would carry on that business. But we are having a complete sharp cut between the generation of the people that are weaving or creating this art, craft, and all of those things to the generation that are upcoming. Those ones do not even want to be part of it because there's a wrong narrative and there's a gap there. Somebody is taking advantage of someone and not, you know. So how do we start to correct that?
Okay, you want to say something?
Yeah, I wanted to say something about what you just said. The Ghanaian shea oil and all that happens in Nigeria as well.
Yeah.
I have a friend who gets the shea oil from here, the shea seeds, shea butter and everything, makes it. And I know someone that at first people were talking about the aroma, that they didn't like it and the fact that it used to freeze, especially if you were sending them abroad to family members. And people have come up with things that they mix with it so it doesn't freeze and change the aroma as well. I don't think so much that it's poverty, it's lack of enlightenment of the advantage and then the people that are exploiting them. Because there are people going into these villages to buy these things, fabrics and all, beads and everything, but they're not returning the money to them to let them see the advantage. So I can't really blame people exploiting them because this is a place of education. And I tell people you need to upscale and upgrade yourself. This is the place of education. You don't really have to go to the university and all of that before you improve yourself. So it is called branding. So if I'm well educated enough and I know the place of branding and I go to a village where they're just doing this thing and they have children that have gone to school, and that's why I tell these people that, okay, your children, you are old, your children should be able to transform your business to a global business. Don't limit yourself to a local business. You have to be able to improve yourself and transform your business to an international standard. And typical individual want to actually rip people off anyway. So if you permit, but the place of education and sensitization, and that's where some private sector are beginning to sensitize people. We see some banks changing the narrative now. Aside financial inclusion, there's economical inclusion, which means that we're sensitizing them and we're telling them, you can put your product on e-commerce platform. You don't have to leave Iseyin. You don't have to leave Osun State. We could sell your Adire to the global market, international market. You get your commission, you get your credit alert without leaving where you are, and we're transforming. You don't have to bother yourself with the branding and everything. We will train you how to brand it and how to position your business to international level.
Awesome.
And leave a legacy for your kids.
Awesome. What you wanted to come in?
So, I mean, I hear you in terms of next generation and passing it along, which we really need to do because these are there's skills that need to be passed down. Absolutely. If not, we risk losing our culture. It's a craft that people build over a lifetime. So for me, I see is there that possibility? Because they also have an access to market problem, which is what you were talking about in terms of how you can put your, gain accessibility using e-commerce and all of that. But how do we, in the absence of that, because we know not everybody is going to do that, and this is just one aspect of tourism, how do we begin to, will I say, shine that positive light? Because in my mind, I think, why isn't there an aggregator today, just like we do for agricultural produce?
Absolutely.
You all bring it to one side, you get an aggregator, and they can earn more because they have more power. Exactly. So today, all of these things, the fashion industry has given us global recognition.
Absolutely.
And when we're talking about revenue, these are the things that can start to bring
instant.
What's the word now? Forex into the country. So how can we now start to put some structure around that? Because I imagine that's what you are trying to do in your line of work.
Absolutely.
How can we do that?
Okay, so if I get your question right, how can we put a structure around this? And just like you said, tourism is not about creative sector alone. We have the hospitality sector, which is actually, there's a lot of potential. So this this narrative that Nigeria is not safe, I'm not sure it is true. Although there's nothing that is happening in Nigeria that's not happening in any other part of, America. You can be anywhere and they'll shoot you and all of that. So Lagos is relatively safe. As of today, there's some hotel. If you go today, they're sold out. Meaning that there's there's opportunity. The whole value chain of tourism, there's a lot of opportunity. And because we got carried away with oil and gas in the country, we're not focusing on all of the things that we need to do. We know that we cannot compete with the likes of Dubai in the area of infrastructure, but there are some quality things that we have that we can take advantage of. Just like I said, our culture. Brazilians, Cubans, they are willing to pay, they want to naturalize. They are willing to pay millions of dollars to become Nigerian, to come and worship the Ifa, to come and do all of those things, come and learn Yoruba and all of that. So a private sector, and we know that government won't be able to do it alone, and this is the place of, this is where private sector comes in. Collaboration is very important. So we're looking at all of the stakeholders, and that is why, that's what we're doing presently. We collaborate with governments, private sector, and even the industry owners to understand what the problem is. Then we now bridge that gap.
Okay, so let's quickly go on a very short break. When we come back from the break, we'll continue the conversation. Now I'll come to her back. She has not answered this question.
I didn't because I didn't get her question. I really need that. I didn't get her question. Yeah.
Thanks for staying with us. So if you just tune in, we're asking the question, how do we drive revenue through tourism? And we have Abiola Adelana. Remember, you can join the conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-84663. You can also tweet at us at Wayshow after one with the hashtag Wayshow. So the question Uti had asked, you want to explain it again?
So the reason why I asked about structure, anything that is unstructured, it's likely not to have direction. And you won't be able to get the value from it. So these artisans today who just have the skill, but they don't have the knowledge, they're not earning as much as they can. So when I look at the whole tourism industry as a whole, it's not earning as much as it can. So whether it be in the place of creativity, entertainment, fashion, hospitality, we're just scraping the top, right? So what can we put in place that allows people to start? Today, how can I plug into the tourism industry? How can I make money from it? I don't know, but I'm sure there are opportunities.
Go ahead. So because I was going to say, with Uti's question, right, there are low-hanging fruits, which he mentioned, which is already something that is already out there. Our fashion, for instance, are low-hanging fruits that we can quickly start to earn Forex from. So the question is, if you were to put a structure today, because you mentioned something very vital about, what's it called, the e-commerce platform, that these people can actually put their things in. So, but you see, there has to be a system that gives them the information. They're enlightened to know that, okay, there's somewhere I can always do it. Then there's a transparency structure that says for every XYZ that is pushed out through this platform, you get this percent. So is it possible to actually put a structure to those low-hanging fruits, things like our fabrics, our culture, our ashofi, and all of that?
Before you answer, I just wanted to add something for you to consider. Our music has gone really global, right? And recently Davido went for a concert and he wore traditional outfits for every single day, which is what the norm. normally they would want to wear everything that the
designers,
Americans are wearing.
Yeah.
So they are people also that could be brand influencers
That
for Nigeria
deliberate.
for tourism.
Yeah.
Because you go to the world, everybody sees you, you're on the global platform. Promote our culture.
Yeah.
I think we have that right now. We have influencers. Someone like Davido that you mentioned is a great influencer. In fact, recently he started wearing the adire and all of that. Who again? The likes of Kunle Afolayan is an
Never wears
influencer.
drag,
Yeah. I'm not a celebrity, but I'm an influencer because I'm so proud and so passionate about what I'm preaching. So anywhere I visit all over the world, I make sure I wear my adire, and I've always get some compliments. Yeah. So
So tying it back to structure.
to structure now, and that is where I don't want to mention bank now, and that's where we come in. With solid example. So I don't like to talk because in that sector there's a lot of talking. We do a lot of seminars, exhibitions, talk, conferences all the time without action. But the place of private sector is to put action to all of this so that we begin to see results. And one of the things we've done is to, for example, the Oyo State people is saying we went there, we sensitized them, we told them about all of these opportunities that they can earnest using what they have. And aside that, we didn't leave it to them. We went with a branding mechanism. So we're helping them to brand and put it all in an e-commerce and they've all opened an account where they can always get their income, both in foreign currency and the local currency. Yeah. So we're replicating same in Ogun State. Ogun and Osun is an hub for Adire. We're replicating same. And very soon we're going to make sure that we sensitize people more using our digital marketing, because the global world, everything is on social media now, although most of these people are illiterate, but their children will see it, and when they see opportunities, they will want to embrace that business.
So how do I make money from it?
So for
I was going to
she went
say-
to New York, she should have taken 2 suitcases of
No,
items.
that one not be that
It's
one.
part of it.
That's on the
Bring it in
retail,
large scale.
on the
That's
retail
retail.
side.
Yeah, look at it at a bigger picture.
And
No,
it's a
you-
For every transaction that goes on that e-commerce, we'll be making $1. Just one. I'm not greedy.
30 cents.
But let's even come back to the tourism side of it, the hospitality side of it, because I think that in itself, we're 200 million people here. And I really agree when Laide said, we don't actually need to bring foreigners in. If we just take ourselves in the staycation mindset. Where I see a gap today, and I don't know if there's anything that you're doing that helps with the knowledge gap. A lot of us don't know about this Osun festival you speak of. I'm just hearing about it, right? So
Yes.
I remember the Durbar festival. I remember the, what's the fish one?
Yes.
Agungu
Festival.
Yeah.
Yeah, so New Yam
New Yam
Festival.
Festival.
These were things
And the
that
one in
Ojude Oba in
Ogun
Ogun State.
Ojude Oba, I mean,
the
exactly.
one Donald Duke was doing.
Yes,
The Calabar Festival.
Festival. So we already have things that, whether they're still going on today, I don't know. Whether there are dates in a calendar where I can now plan my year to say, you know what, Oshogbo Festival, I'm going to be available. Yes, do we have anything like that now? Because I remember, if anybody remembers old NTA programming, there used to be a program where they used to show masquerades and they used to show local sites and things like, and I used to love that show as a child because it allowed me to experience Nigeria. So do we have anything like that today?
So we're supposed to have, so this is a place of the government, NTDC, this is their role. There's supposed to be a calendar
of events.
events.
Yeah.
So there's
You
a
know,
body for tourism?
NTDC, headed by Folorun Shokoka. Yeah, I know they're doing so much.
hold him when we
but
see him.
yeah, we should hold
think
him.
we want to look for him.
Body Coca is doing so well, but they can do better, you know, because it's a very complicated sector. It's a very diverse and very complicated sector, and is a sector that people have not been.
Do we have an
interested
Adire
in
Day?
before.
Wait, let us finish
Oh yeah,
this
there's
calendar. You know why I'm saying
there's
this?
a direct
we have all
day.
these
Because what you
We
just
have
said
all of
now,
these things.
I mean, hearing what Oti said,
Lack of awareness.
how they talk. If I
Awareness.
get calendar where they don't plug them, you just know the way Google will pop up
Each
and remind
commissioner
you.
in every state should collate whatever the events are
Exactly.
in their state,
And
and then there will be a national calendar. And then we will promote it on our site and every time that people go out.
Exactly.
That's what they're saying. Do you know that most Americans don't have passports? They don't go anywhere.
They stay in their
don't.
countries.
There's so much to, I mean, America is as big as a continent.
Yeah.
There's so much to see. in their country with different weathers within the same country, they have no need to go anywhere because they haven't seen it all, you know. And we as Nigerians, you have passports too, or we have passports, but to go from this Lagos state or the major towns that everybody knows for commercial cities, we don't even try to go anywhere else. When I was younger, anytime my dad was driving through towns, you don't fall asleep. You pay attention because it's going to ask you questions.
You write something.
What town did we pass through? What did you see there that seemed to be the food that was their staple? We stop over, we taste food. We have people on YouTube coming into different countries and including Nigeria, tasting food in Makoko. And we as Nigerians are not even seeing opportunities. God, I keep saying it's enlightenment, opening their eyes and broadening their horizons.
So let's talk education, right?
Education tourism.
Yes, because first of all, this Osun State that you mentioned, I'm wondering why are they looking for hotel? I can tell them some hotels they can go to.
In Osogbo.
No, not Osogbo. They should just drive small to Iloko. Where my son's school is in Iloko. Let them go there. Because again, why I say I want to talk on education. When we set quality standards, right, your customers will find you.
Absolutely.
We had to drive all the way to Osun State from Lagos to get into a school, right? Just because of the story and the brand and all of that for the school. First of all, I love the quietness of that place because for me, I believe Lagos is too busy. That place keeps them grounded when they're in school. Can we not also try to start to replicate that? But again, the fear. Which will still pick us back to security. You know, we've had cases of kidnapping from, you know, but you see, I think the structure that Olasore operates in Iloko, they have something they do every single year, community impact. Where they pick, they go to talk to the cultural leaders, the chiefs of the communities. Yes, they speak with them and say, okay, what would you like us to do for you this year? So every child that gets to year 10,
and that's Olasore
yes, every child that gets to year 10 must do a community project. So sometimes they tell us build our school hall, or our fence has fallen down, or do this. So they always give them projects every year to do. You know, and that has also bonded the community and protected the investment. Do you understand?
Absolutely.
So in the bid to say we want to build tourism, there has to be that local ownership. Thank you. That local ownership of that property. So if I go now today and say I want to build a beautiful village camp house where people can come from all over the world to come and camp, and my community isn't, you know, catered for, it affects the tourism business.
Absolutely.
So where's the role of that CSR, right, in terms of galvanizing the community to actually even take ownership of whatever it is that we're bringing? Because no matter how grand your ideas are, if you get to a community and the community seems like you're just here to come and take from us, you're not giving us anything, there's no how that business is going to be sustained. So how do we sustain even the ones that have gone far to build? How do we start to get that communal engagement?
Okay, so that's a place of CSR, and for my organization, I know that we do that a lot, and that's why we involve the culture custodians, which are the traditional rulers in all of the things we do. Recently, we did a beach cleaning event and beach adoption, beach adoption, meaning that we just didn't clean the beach, but we adopted the beach, meaning that we're going to be paying all of the employers, the women, to maintain the beach. Awesome. So those are CSR. For example, at the airports, we have free Wi-Fi by my organization.
Awesome.
I don't want to mention my organization.
Don't mention, or you pay us bill afterwards.
That organization.
So that's the place of private sector, but the government needs to do what they're supposed to do. So that we can all actually
work hand in hand, so that, you know, has a bigger impact.
Yeah.
You know, because this is what you said. I mean, I remember when I was having this conversation with someone. You know, say Kenya, children in secondary school in the US, every now and then, you just be sitting there saving their $1, saving their $1.
Yes.
And okay,
because
I wanted to talk about
that. Student thing also encourages you to see what.
So finance is actually a challenge for us in Nigeria. We've not embraced the act of loan lending, and so we see when you hear anybody wants to borrow money from bank, you think, oh, it's abomination. Why are you taking loan? But abroad, you see people, they go on vacation with, they don't use their funds.
Absolutely.
They don't use their funds, you know. And that is where private sector, the financial institution needs to bridge that gap. Travel loans.
Una go give us money.
Travel loans.
We do
that, yeah.
We can do travel loans.
Yeah.
Before we even get
We
to
do
that
travel
level
loans.
of travel loans.
Yeah.
But, I mean, there were times when, back in the day, where they used to take, and I think they still do it for at least sports, when they used to take children abroad to go and do sports events and everything like that. In Nigeria as well, there should be a design.
No, but we had Nuga games.
We
but I
have,
don't know
No,
There's
I'm not even
Athens
talking
coming.
about Nuga games per se. I'm talking about we go abroad to participate on international school something. We should also, the same way people fight for Olympics, to host Olympics, fight for such things so that we too can bring people here. At the school level though, because they do it every year where they have something as big as the Olympics for children in primary schools and secondary schools. We too should start fighting for the opportunities.
So I think the media should change the narrative of pushing out negative stories about Nigeria, because nobody really want to come to Nigeria when they hear that, oh, they will kidnap you. Nobody's going to release their children to come to Nigeria. So I think the media people need to change their narratives. We should push out the positive things more.
So, I mean, it's great when we talk about positivity, but what? And Nigeria is a very diverse country, right? I don't see anything that tells the story of Nigeria. And I think that's a problem that we have on the tourism side, because there's the American dream, there are certain countries that when you think of them, certain things just resonate. And without that, I don't know how we will drive revenue do we have a Ministry of Tourism? We
do have a Ministry of Tourism.
On every level, right?
Yeah.
So there's no story about Nigeria, because when I hear you say the media needs to, there is, if you don't write it, somebody will write it for you.
Absolutely.
If you haven't designed it in the positive to say, this is what I am presenting and projecting about Nigeria to the world.
Before now, individuals have just been struggling in this sector, doing their own thing without support from government or private sector. We see the likes of PlusTvAfrica, they've been in this space for the past 20 years, struggling on their own. You know, and some other top companies.
If we have opportunity of partnering with the people like Netflix and all that, and we're putting our items there, and we're still not projecting the good sides of Nigeria too. When artists come to Nigeria, they go back and tell them that that place isn't what you think you see. Because every single country has to be the ones to have a narrative that suits their people, instead of letting the CNNs and co just say whatever they want about them.
So we need to begin to tell our own story. So how do we start to get partnerships for that? Because that's the only way we can drive revenue through tourism, where we begin to tell our own stories and push more in the media, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So we need to get more people like you people to give us money to tell the story. But we must commend ourselves. Ways has done well, because we talk about this all the time. There are beautiful places in Nigeria to visit.
Absolutely.
Beautiful things to see, beautiful foods to eat.
Beautiful culture.
I went to Morocco for a photo shoot.
Yes. You know, so
of my own volition. I just wanted people to ask, where is this?
Let's take some comments before we run, because we were talking and time has
All right, so I'll take this one that says, hello ladies, your subject matter tonight is key to Nigeria's quest for economic diversification. Tourism is multifaceted and a huge industry. The onus is on us to develop and promote what's ours. You've mentioned our clothes, music, culture, etc. But we also need to look at tourism sites in the nation and develop them. Scenic terrains like Gembu, Plateau, etc. should be developed by the state and private sector. We have to create global publicity and be the first to be promoting and patronizing these sites and events, etc. By the way, Uti, the stunning lady in red, looks like a queen on the throne tonight. Thank you, Mr. Wayamdi. Thank you.
Wayamdi, thank you.
We have
Uti
Austin
came to steal my shine. Go ahead.
We have Austin from Delta. Yes, revenue from tourism presently may be hampered because of scaring wave of security across the country. But the real issue is that many state governments have not taken advantage of tourism. Forgive me, I'm speaking foreign English. Tourism, gold mine at their backyards even before now. They rather prefer to go to Abuja for revenue allocation and paying to see tourism sites untapped. When I see the river Niger transversing through Delta State, wasting away, I shake my head, because some of these countries abroad, we prefer running to or wishing to be blessed with such natural endowment. Absolutely. I would also like to say public office holders should holiday in Nigeria.
All right, so
Exactly.
quickly, good evening, my dear beautiful sisters. Of what are you saying? Driving revenue through tourism. I thank God for this topic being discussed tonight. In a nutshell, we as Nigerians and Africans should encourage and promote tourism. It is very important. Your guest is a typical example of someone who encourages and promotes tourism. Sister Uwa, you look beautiful. Thank you very
No
much.
compliments for like this.
Happy birthday to your amazing son, Master Sally. Thank you so much, Daniel.
Daniel,
Our always regular fan.
Yes.
We love you too. All right, so thank you so much. We're going to bring you more.
Yes.
Whether we like
I
it
would
or
love-
not, you guys must partner with Waze because we talk
guys
about
do.
tourism all the time. So,
Absolutely.
you see, you cannot say media should project. Media need money to project.
And tell us
Partner
what to
with
project
us.
and teach us and then
Absolutely. Thank
Yeah,
you so
we
much.
will partner
All right,
with
thank you, ladies.
Thanks
the
for having
beautiful
me.
Uti and the beautiful Lady.
Thank you for
Thank
the
you.
compliments.
look
Thank
amazing
you.
as well.
You too. Thank
Now,
you
before
very
we go,
much.
do ensure you follow us on Instagram.
And happy birthday to your son.
Thank
too.
you. I wish you Africa. You can interact with
Yeah.
us further, drop a comment, and more importantly, follow all our engagements on social media. Like, share, invite your families and friends to watch and follow the conversation. Now, if you missed today's quote, here it is again. Tourism is important because it can create sustainable local economies. I'd much rather have 1,000 tourists going up the Tambo Pata than 1,000 gold miners. We'll see you guys. Wait, before you see, this is actually made in Nigeria by a
Yeah,
Nigerian designer. Let me just
beautiful.
tell you. See you guys on Monday at 8 p.m. We are all local people.